There are 25,000 people roughly that live in the 9 square miles of our target area, which is the 14 communities located just immediately west of uptown Charlotte. This has been historically and currently still remains a primarily African American area of the city of Charlotte. About 85% of the residents in this West Charlotte area are African Americans, many of which are experiencing a lot of the negative effects of a history of discrimination and marginalization from the resources in the greater Charlotte area. Unemployment is high, crime is higher than it is other places in the city, and all the other negative things that are usually associated with high concentrations of poverty exist in our target area. And because our church tradition, the Presbyterian Church in America, has historically targeted primarily middle to upper middle class white people and communities, it's sad but not surprising that there is not currently a church in our denomination located anywhere in our 14 communities.
So it is an area with significant needs, and at the same time it's an area with exciting resources. One of the things we're most excited about is Johnson C. Smith University, which is a historically black college. So as a church that wants to focus on leadership development, and particularly in the African American community, we're very excited about Johnson C. Smith. In addition to Johnson C. Smith, there's a number of parachurch ministries in the area, and barely a week goes by where we don't sit down and meet with someone who's excited about partnering with us in one way or another. So not only are there institutional resources, and not only is the city of Charlotte looking at the economic development of West Charlotte, but even for us personally moving into the neighborhood, it's been exciting to be in a place where there's a sense of neighborhood solidarity and community involvement. People know their neighbors and they care about their neighbors.
I've had two growing loves throughout my adulthood that have caused me to want to come back with our family to West Charlotte. The first is through being a school counselor in urban school settings, and also through being on staff with Young Life in the Young Lives Ministry for teen moms. I have grown an increasing love for a diversity of people, seeing the importance in my life and in our family's life of having friends who are from different life experiences and backgrounds. And I've also grown an increasing love for our church tradition. And I long to see those two things come together. I would love to see West Charlotte Church be a place that brings together the diversity of this beautiful community into one church.
For me, this is like coming home. I'm from communities very similar to West Charlotte, and honestly at first I did not want to come back home, if you will, because I thought if I ever got to leave a place like this, why would I return? But God has allowed me to see the beauty of West Charlotte and of the people, and I now see that it is such a privilege to be a part of a work like this.
Over the past several years, I've had the opportunity to serve and pastor at Christ Central Church, a PCA church, multi-ethnic church in East Charlotte. It's been during my time there where I've developed a very strong conviction that being an intercultural gospel community is vital for spiritual health and spiritual growth. We need to be in community with people that are not like us, not only so that we can see those blind spots that we have, but also so that we can have the opportunity to celebrate God's diverse redeeming work in the lives of His diverse people.
So for many years and for many reasons, we've increasingly felt a sense of call to be in a church that gathers people together from different backgrounds and places into one place where we can worship the Lord together. And over the last 10 years or so, that's only increased as we've gotten to be close friends with the McKnights, and as our own family has become a multiracial family through transracial adoption. It's taken those questions and desires, and it's made them personal for us in a way that gives us a strong desire to plant a church where people can gather together and worship the Lord together.
We desire to plant a church in and for the urban West Charlotte community. We envision a church that is deeply rooted in and representative of the neighborhoods that make up the urban West Charlotte area. We envision a church that is dependent upon the ordinary means of grace that Christ has given His church for gospel growth. and we envision a church that is committed to leadership development and ministry multiplication.
And we want to be a church that's focused on the multiplication of ministry. When Charles was ordained, there were only 52 African American pastors in our denomination out of 4,000. And we see that as an area that we need to grow. And so we're excited to be a church that's in a community and with opportunities to grow. And we want to be focused on raising up leaders, and in particular, African American leaders in our denomination. Now that you've heard a little bit about the church that we're going to be starting in West Charlotte, we'd love for you to go to our website so that you can learn a little bit more about the community and the details of the vision for that church. And when you're on the website, it's really easy to sign up for our newsletter. There's a link that you can click, and you can also find out a little bit more about how you could support the church financially. So we're trying right now at the very beginning to raise 5 years worth of external support, knowing that our internal giving is not going to be significant. It's going to take time for that to build. So if you would be interested in giving to the work, we would love for you to go to the website and learn more about how you could give and support it.
One final way we'd like to invite you to consider participating with us in this work is to actually come and be a part of this work with us. We're prayerful that the Lord would continue to put the burden for West Charlotte on people's hearts and draw them to participate in this exciting and worthy work.